The thing that I'm probably most proud of that we do at Small Nation is we find ways to save and restore these buildings, not only investing capital to renovate and improve them, but finding ways to adaptively reuse them for what towns and communities and consumers want to see today. My name is Jason Duff, and I'm the founder of Small Nation. I invest in historic buildings because I believe every building has a significant story to tell. Each building has a DNA, whether it was the people, the businesses, the kinds of activities that took place there, but it also has a very meaningful purpose to storytell for the future. There's nothing more valuable than going to visit a town and experiencing it in its authentic self. You know, what makes that town DNA different from anywhere else that you visit? That's what people and consumers really want today. And I think Bellefontaine has an incredible story to tell. I grew up to two parents that were small business owners. My dad had businesses in construction materials and sold lumber, concrete, and stone. And my mom had a retail shop on Main Street. She had a Hallmark store. So growing up and being a part of family business, many of the businesses that surrounded the streets in our town, they became our friends, our neighbors. And Bellefontaine was one of the places that my mom had her store. And so for me, seeing how the town, would go through economic cycles, but particularly the last 20 years, things got very difficult here. My mom closed her business, and it was kind of at a point where we had to do something about that. Bellefontaine needs this project because it's transformational. There's a lot we have accomplished together, but there's so much more with bringing new businesses, new places to eat, new places to work, to see theater, to throw an axe. That's the next step in this journey. When we become a destination for tourism, more people from around the state, even around the country, are going to want to come and explore, eat, dine, and shop in downtown Bellefontaine. The thing that impresses me most about this building is not only architecturally from the outside, it's a fixture in our downtown. It anchors both Main Street and Court Street, and it's a building that has a tremendous amount of history. To me, the role of an opera house, music, the arts, theater, it was what made a town special. It was a place where people would escape the reality of hard work and life. They would go to the stage to see a show. The place of seeing a show was a place they could imagine. It was a place that they could dream, they could create, they could laugh, they could cry. It was one of those things that brought emotion. Being able to feel the audience's energy when there's applause or laughter. And you walk through the halls of this building and you hear the reverberations of those times when there was joy, those times when there was sadness. The other thing about the history of this building is that Bellefontaine is part of a much larger network of historic places around the country. The downtown is a historic district. So there are properties like the Logan County Courthouse, the Holland Theater, and many other buildings that contribute to making downtown's historic district significant. The Opera Block is a big part of that. The property was acquired for $310,000. Immediate needs of about $200,000 were necessary to stabilize the roof, deal with some serious structural issues that were found, and also there's been over 62 40 cubic yard dumpsters of debris that has been removed from the property. That's a lot of trash. There are many different metrics of success, but I think some of the big pitfalls of failing would be to get stuck. Sometimes that's running out of money, can be one game over kind of scenario. The other one would be is having a massive failure of some sort, and that could be structurally, could be a part of the building that we didn't anticipate would be a problem and is a problem. Sometimes it's environmental issues, things like asbestos or lead. If you don't study and know those environmental issues, that can be a major issue. And the other thing is that the business model itself, that people stop coming downtown or shopping, and those are all threats that I think exist to projects like this that may exist in other towns. I think people think that it's easy to get capital or to find money for saving and restoring a historic building. I'm here to say that it's not. There is not a money tree in the back of the Opera Block that pays the bills. What it takes is we have to figure out what businesses make sense here and how the building can be renovated with businesses that can afford to pay the rents, that will add to the downtown mix of what's already here and what's still needed, and be successful long term. I think the biggest fear of doing a project of this scale is what could go wrong. Every storm that comes through, I'm thinking in my mind, what roof is leaking? Every strike of lightning, every breaker that pops, there are these moments where you're wide awake at night thinking are things okay? And I think sometimes that anxiety can be debilitating, but it also can fuel you to say, what can we do to make the building safer and fix those potential problems so that if the worst case did happen, we'd still be okay. I think some of the biggest barriers to entries of other people saving and working to restore buildings in their town are oftentimes the regulations. A lot of good projects are dead in their tracks because working to bring a building up to code takes a tremendous amount of money. It also takes a tremendous amount of talent and time to find the building materials, to find the contractors, and to be really able to pull all of it together. We're very blessed that we have a great team. And people, this is not our first rodeo. We've made lots of mistakes over the years, but part of mistakes are kind of like accelerated learning. You get better the more practice and experience that you have. This project is different from our other projects because of the size and the scope and the scale. There's 40,000 square feet, 3 floors, 13 storefronts. This is a massive undertaking. And I think what brings me confidence as we head off in restoring the historic Opera Block is the incredible team that's behind saving this building. There are architects and engineers, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and then our partners at the city and the county. Everyone is pulling in the same direction to want to see this building be the pride and joy of the town in the future. I drive into a lot of towns, and their gateway is usually one of the most important things in how you feel about the town. The same is true of the facade of a building, that if the windows are boarded up, if the lights are off, if there's trash out on the sidewalk, that's your first impression of the property. So one of the first things that we're working to do is start from the top down, so seeing a new roof on the building, and when that roof is there, that means water can't penetrate it. And on the fronts of the building, seeing each one of the bricks tuck pointed, the joints, the mortar seams, bricks being cleaned and then properly restored, and then seeing any broken glass and historic windows, seeing them fixed. And then if you go down to the storefronts, many of our storefronts are non-historical storefronts, but we're replacing them with energy efficient glass and frames that will be historically appropriate in terms of the openings and size for the building. I think those elements, and then flipping the light switches on in the windows, just seeing that light presents energy. And I'm really proud of many of those steps are underway, and I'm excited because other people are starting to take notice. We have a good start on the tenant recruitment and the businesses that are coming to the Opera Block, but we also still have a lot of work to do. Some things that I'm really excited about is in the next 6 months, we're gonna see the opening of 2 new boutiques, a chocolate and pottery store. We already have some great professional offices that are in financial advising and financial services. We have a new architecture office that's here. But I think the thing that people are probably going to be most excited about is a new destination restaurant. And we're working really hard to finalize the details of that project, but I think that's going to put the town at a whole different level.